Ever been hit with a question so unexpected that it hits the brakes on your brain? That happened to me recently. Someone looked me dead in the eyes and asked me a question I wasn't expecting. And you know what? In all of my years of training in leasing, no one has ever asked me that so directly. It stopped me in my tracks, but it also lit a fire because the answer, well, you'll just have to stick around and see also what that question is.
Hello, welcome to the Rooms with Ronald podcast, brought to you by the Multifamily Media Network. I'm your host, Ronald Harrington. In 2023, I set an intention to shop 100 apartment communities to see how leasing was evolving around the country. Rooms with Ronald was born out of that experience. In this series, I share my experiences and engage in meaningful conversations with other professionals in the industry as we discuss all things related to leasing and marketing. Join in as we expand the Rooms with Ronald experiment.
Hello, and welcome to Rooms with Ronald, the micro living edition. I'm your host, Ronald Harrington, and in this edition of Micro Living, we're going to discuss a question that stopped me in my tracks, and we're going to do it in 10 minutes or less. So let's go ahead and jump on in. Now, recently I was working with a brand new leasing agent, and we were talking about some things. We had just finished leasing training, and he said to me, dead in the eyes, "So, what's it going to take for me to be successful at leasing?" I have never been asked that question before. And he did it so boldly and so directly that it kind of stopped me dead in my tracks, dead in my thought process, almost like that unexpected objection that I wasn't prepared for. That's what it reminded me of. But yet it lit a fire. And, I didn't have the perfect answer. No. But what I did say was, there's a couple of things that are going to make you successful in leasing. And the very first thing, and I tell this to anyone and everyone, is you have to be your own energizer. Meaning your energy has to come from within, because it is so easy to feed off the energy in the room, the people that you work with every day, the prospects that are coming in, what's going on in your personal life, all of that. But you can't let that take away who you are at your core. I am energized by myself, right? Leasing energizes me. You have to find that passion and let that fuel your energy. So that was kind of my first takeaway for him was, be your own energizer. The second one was kind of like the power of the right question, right? In leasing, we tend to ask a lot of questions that add no value to the prospect, but give us the information we need, but it comes off interrogational. So this is where you ask questions with curiosity. Just like you asked me, what's it going to take to be successful? That right there, guys, was the real $1 million question to me, especially after training. So asking questions that allow you to get to know your prospect, that allow you to build the relationship with them, that's key as well. And then there's what I call the big three, right? Here are the big three things that I think. Confidence without cockiness. There's a very fine line between being confident and being cocky, and that line varies from person to person. So what I want you to think about is believe in what you're offering, right? That you have a great product, all of that, right? You don't have to be arrogant about it, but you know your competition, you know your product, and you know where you stand, and you believe in that, whether you're selling a renovated unit or a classic unit. It comes down to your voice, your body language, and your eye contact. Cocky people don't have any of that. Confident people will look you in the eye, they will alter their voice, and their body language is inviting. Consistency with charisma. That's another big one, right? You're going to show up the same way for every lead, every tour, and you're going to be your charismatic self. You're going to follow up, you're going to follow through, and you're going to stick to the plan. Charisma to me is being able to take them into a room, keep them engaged with you, and allow them to fill that space. And then the other one is consistency and the connection, right? I always say connection is the currency. Emotional connection seals the deal, hand down, all the time. The more that you can connect with somebody, the easier it is for you to ask them to apply for this sale. I often get asked what the Ronald secret sauce is, right? Like, Ronald, why is it that when you go to a property, you get all these leases? It's because I genuinely care about people and I want to help them find the right home. And I do that in a way that's fun and that's exciting for them. And that's all it takes. By the end of the tour, you and I are best friends. There is no one else in the world. No one knows that I have 50 emails in my inbox, that I need to do 27 follow-ups, and that my Teams is blowing up. My boss has called me 4 times when I'm with somebody. I am in the moment. I am actively engaged with them, and they are the only person that matters. Those are my big 3, right? So the other thing to think about is you don't have to be a natural born closer. I was not a natural born closer. I picked it up along the way because to me, it's relationship building at the end of the day, right? I wasn't the best hotel sales manager because I didn't like to follow up and cold call and all of that and say, do you want to have your event here, right? But I found in leasing, once I made the connection with you, it became easier for me to say, so what if we go back to the office and start the application process? Or, hey, let's pull it up right here in this office. You don't have to necessarily understand everything about the human mind, but you need to know enough about body language, and you need to be able to read people. And you need to be able to know, like, ooh, did I ramble too long? Or they don't have any interest in this. And that to me all ties into the types of questions that you ask. Now, here's the big takeaway. You need intention. Everything that you do when it comes to leasing should be intentional. And that's my new word for the rest of the year. Intentional. Be intentional with your phone calls, with your follow-up, with your tours, right? Which then leads to practice, because practice makes confidence, and then you'll find your personal best. You'll be able to find your person. You'll be like, yes, this is my purpose right here. This is why I lease apartments. I want to leave you with a challenge. So I want you to think back and audit one tour that you gave this week. These are the questions I want you to think. Did you show confidence? Did you stay consistent? And did you make a true connection that you could circle back to in a follow-up and tie in what you learned about them? Go ahead, take these back, audit yourself, and then find ways to say, I didn't do that the greatest. I'm going to do this. You have enjoyed today's episode of Rooms with Ronald, the Micro Living. So let me recap those big 3s for you, okay? It is confidence without cockiness, consistency with charisma, and connection is the currency. You have what it takes. Just like that leasing professional asked me what it took to be successful, that's what it takes to be successful. Now, go get that lease. And until next time, guys, happy leasing.
Thank you for tuning in today. I hope I left you with some fresh ideas or a new perspective. Leasing and marketing are evolving rapidly, and Rooms with Ronald is committed to offering a place to hear about those changes. We also celebrate and acknowledge the fundamentals of exceptional service that will never go out of style. So, if you enjoyed this episode, please like, comment, or subscribe. Visit multifamilymedianetwork.com to learn more about our other exceptional industry podcasts, call pieces, and sponsorship opportunities.